all for the AICTE sponsored short-term training program on emotional intelligence for teaching staff in enhancing efficiency of students. At today's session about stress coping techniques for enhancing quality of life. And today's speaker, Professor S. Magesh, Director at Majestic Technology Solution Private Limited. Thank you for accepting our invitation, sir. Now, I would like to call upon Dr. P. Priyadarshini, Head of the Department at Tagore Engineering College, to introduce our speaker. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Manju. So, good afternoon to all the participants. And good afternoon, sir. I welcome you all for the afternoon session. And it takes me immense pleasure in welcoming you as a speaker for this STTP on a very important topic, that is stress coping techniques. Welcome you, sir. And I take a privilege in introducing Professor Mahesh, sir, to this forum. So, sir is an entrepreneur, he's an academician, and he is a visionary resource person. And he is very much noted for his committed entrepreneurship. And sir holds multifarious credentials in the field of engineering, science, linguistics, Yes, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, ma'am. No,
yes, sorry, sir. Yes, sir. So, sir has held different academic position, and he holds a 15 years of corporate experience, and he is a recipient of Distinguished Innovator and Edupreneur Award and Distinguished Fellowship, which is he's a recipient from NFED, National Federation of Entrepreneurship and Development. And now, sir holds the chairman and director of Majestic Technology Solution, Jupiter Publication, and he holds the chief advisor of NFED. Sir has hosted different programs on research, personality development, soft skill training, communication for faculty, students, and research scholars. Many research scholars have been benefited through his research programs, which has been very much noted for a hands-on training. So that is where I came to know about Sir Professor Mahesh, sir. From the day where we met, the journey has been a very long way, where sir was a mentor for our students, Tagore students, and he has been an advisor for us in orienting different sessions. And he's through his Jupiter publication, he has enabled very quality publications, and he has supported us for many conferences. So his profile is very short, but there are many things which he has not mentioned in his profile. So, and he's a very nice human. That's what I would like to say on as a person, because whenever he delivers a session, he doesn't delivers it for a time or for a topic. He always ensures that the particular thing reaches the faculty or a student. So we wanted to have sir for the phase one, but this is a very needed topic, because now we faculty are under stress. Not only we faculty, most of us are under stress due to COVID and unexpected situation. So Professor Mahesh sir is a very right person to discuss on with stress coping techniques, and he will deliver a very power packed session. So we are waiting to hear from you, sir. Let me not take much time of yours. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Nice introduction about me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It's just a tip of the iceberg, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Most respected chairperson of Tagore Engineering College, most respected and erudite principal, head of the Department of Management Studies, organizers of Tagore Engineering College, and faculty members from multifarious institutions, colleges, and universities, and my dear learners. So it gives me immense pleasure to address on the stress coping techniques for enhancing the quality of life. So let me start with an invocation. The invocation is most of us, around 80 to 90% of the human in this world, we believe in God, the Almighty. In every religion, we believe in God. So before starting this session, let me start like this. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So we are praying to the Almighty to grant the serenity to accept the things which we cannot change, Example, COVID. We are not able to change it at this point of time. The courage to change the things I can, how to face it, and the wisdom to know the difference. So Reinhold Niebuhr, a very famous theologian, he has given this invocation for us, and it suits the topic stress management. So let us understand what is stress. Most of us, we use the word stress number of times. Instead, it is nothing but the lack of even-mindedness in a world of change and challenges. In day-to-day life, we are facing a lot of challenges and the world of change. Everything is changing every minute. So we have to have the equipoised, even-mindedness that we have to sustain for a very longer period of time. So when we don't have that, we call it as a stress. So stress is nothing but a feeling of emotional or physical tension. So there are so many definitions which we come across in the day-to-day life about the stress. It can come from any event or thought that makes you feel frustrated. You are getting annoyed. The central nervous system is breaking down. Stress is your body reaction to a challenge or a demand. In other words, stress can be defined as a type of change that is causing the physical, emotional, as well as the psychological strain. So stress is your body's response to anything that requires attention or action. So something which is emanating from us, it is not right. So it needs certain attention and it needs certain action so that the body is restituted. Stress is the body's reaction to any change that requires an adjustment or response. The body reacts to these changes with physical, mental, and emotional responses. In other words, they say the confusion created when one mind overrides the body's basic desire. So many of us will be craving and longing to do something, but there are certain impediments or a block or a barrier which comes before us. And we are unable to crack and break down into pieces and proceed further. If it is not happening, what happened? A confusion is created and we choke the living daylights out of the body of somebody who is desperately in need of it. So what I can say about the stress is there is no proper definition for the stress that everyone agrees on. The meaning is what is stressful to one person may be pleasurable or have little effect on others. For example, in a bank, for example, the cashier says that I'm having a lot of stress because I'm just meeting a lot of people because I have to count my notes and I have to be very careful when I'm giving the notes to the customer. The other person, the person is very much interested in counting notes and giving to the other person with the fullest emotion, with the fullest energy, etc. So what happens here is we have to understand that one person is having the eagerness, is ready to work hard, is ready to do anything for his bank. The other person thinks that there is a constraint for him, there is a time limit. So he or she thinks, the person thinks that there is a time limitation for us, and they are overcautious on certain things, and the stress is caused. So there is no proper definition for this. So the stressful to one person may be pleasurable or have little effect on others. So we all react to stress differently. Not one person to person, the stress is different. So what are the major causes of this stress? What are the major overload, work overload? Of late, we think that we have a constraint, we have a thinking that the work which has to be done or disseminated by us or to be carried out by us, there is a constraint that it should be only to the level, optimal level. We believe in that the workload, when it is given for the individual, either in a company or in a college or in an educational institution, we think that the workload which is given to us, it is not evenly distributed from your point of view. For example, the head of the department is liable to give the workload evenly to all the faculty members. So one of the faculty members, they may think that the workload given for that member is more when compared to the other faculty members. So a stress is created in the mind of the faculty member when the person is getting the more workload, and the person is not able to convey to the concerned head of the department or the principal about the workload which they are facing, which is not commonly or evenly distributed. So this is one cause. I'm talking about the education side as well as in the company side. I have seen some of them, they give the workload to one person who is doing constantly ready to do more work. The person who is really desirous of doing certain things again and again, or the person may be so knowledgeable in such a way that the work is given to the same person again and again because of the interest which was shown by the person, as well as the person is having the real-time knowledge about a particular task or anything. So in that case, what happens is the work overload. So the stress causes there. Next one is the work underload. For example, somebody is so energetic person. The person is so energetic and the person can't sit in one place, and a lot of feeding should be given to that person. So the person has to work constantly. But what happens here, when the work is not given to that person, automatically a stress is caused. So both the thing, if the work overload as well as the underload. And the third one is the poor working condition. For example, you would have worked in a different place where you would have got everything. For example, if you want to take a printout, readily it is available. You need a PC. The PC is given to you. You can work on the PC. You can take a printout in that college or in that place or in other working place. Of late, when you change the college or change your working place to the other place, the place may not have the working conditions, or you may not have the congenial atmosphere for you to work. So immediately the comparison goes there. Even though I have seen some of them when they shift their work for the sake of fringe benefits like 2,000 or 3,000 rupees, when comparing to one college to the other college, from one workplace or one company to the other company, and later they will come to know about the poor working conditions. This is one of the main cause for stress. When they come to know about the poor condition, working condition, and when they start comparing with the other one, then lack of group cohesiveness. This is very, very important for any organization. Why I'm saying this is, the person who leads, the leader, the person has to ensure a very good congenial atmosphere for the staff to work, and the communication has to be very precise, straightforward. A clear-cut intimation has to be given to the concerned persons. They have to have a lot of healthy discussions. After having the healthy discussions, automatically you will come to know that the cohesiveness of the work starts. For example, supposing the senior member will expect more respect in terms of the junior staff members. So this happens in most of the places in the organization. So, for example, if the head of the department or the senior manager is going to give one task for the junior person, immediately the senior one, they may not be that interested and they are afraid whether their job will be at stake. So at this point of time, what happened? There will be lack of group cohesiveness. For example, the new staff, they come and ask something, they will not disclose. the thing which is happening in their organization. Please understand, most of the faculty member, in my experience, have seen this. You have to think about your organization, the owner of your organization who has invested a lot of money for that organization to develop not only us, the students, they learn a lot of things from us. So if somebody is going to be an impediment, if somebody, the person who is going to block in front of us and they are not allowing us to move further, so the person who is in that place, the person who takes care of the main, like the head of the department or the senior manager or the person who is responsible for the post as a leader, has to see that there should not be any lack of group cohesiveness. So if the lack of group cohesiveness is happening because of the block which they have towards the growth of the remaining persons. Then the interpersonal and intergroup conflict. So we have a lot of conflicts. People, they form their own groups. They have their own conflicts. Somebody wants to do something good for the society. Somebody wants to do something good for their organization. Even the intention is good. What happens? They have their own interpersonal conflict. There may be some conflict. They may have some idea which may not be addressed or which may not be taken care of the others, and they have to see only the good in that. So this causes stress in those persons. Then organizational changes. So in an organization, you can see that there's a lot of changes is happening nowadays. So many of the business plays or many of the schools and colleges, they give half salary or 70% salary or 80% salary. It is depending upon the receipts that we are receiving from the students, or in some places we may not be in a position to do the business. Rather, we may ask for some other optional things which we have to come across and see there is a way. See, there is always a labyrinth that we face in our life. We will not know where we will lead to. Nobody can say that I'm going to lead to in this place or the other place. There may be a vision, but there is a big labyrinth that we are facing in front of us, that we have to move into the labyrinth and find the right way out of it. So this is the major cause of stress when there is a change in the organization. So the stress automatically, it is gets. So for example, somebody says that we are going to remove 2 or 3 staff members because there are no staff members in this. Automatically, the stress, most of them, they get stressed. Next one is the lack of social support. We need the social support always. It is not, you see, in Tamil, there is an adage, we call it as Tanimaram Topahadu. We cannot keep a single tree and say it is a forest. So lack of social support, we have to depend on others. Dependency is there for us. Anybody cannot, all of them, they cannot be independent in all the time. So we have to be independent, but we cannot be independent all the time. So we need the support of others. For example, supposing any conflict with the technical one, some person is immediately giving the attention and getting it redressed. Then the next one is the career concern. At one point of time, see, for me, in 2014, I worked in Kodaikanal Institute of Technology in Kodaikanal, a group of institution of Dr. MGR. So what happened? We came to know that they are going to shift the college or the business, they are going to close down and they are going to open a new one. Or we requested for a change to Chennai. So I know very well that it is not going to happen. So if the stress is going to cause a big havoc in my life, I cannot proceed further. So I have to see an alternative change. So I started the business in the name of Maruti Technocrat E-Services and Jupiter Publication Consortium, and later this Majestic Technology Solutions Private Limited. So we have to think differently out of box, our strengths and weaknesses. Next one is the role ambiguity. See, for example, have seen in most of the colleges that doesn't know about the difference between a dean and a principal. In some of the places, the dean think that the dean is the principal, and they take the role of the principal and they start doing the principal work. And all. So principal at places in head of the institution. At certain places, director, there may be a position called director. They have to. So we have to be very clear with the role. So whenever the position is given to us, we have to understand what is our role in that. We have to be very clear. We have to be very precise. There should not be any abstruse things that is going on in our role. So role, there should not be any role ambiguity. What happens if you have a role ambiguity? So we do something else, we will start poking nose into somebody's affairs. So that is very bad. So what we have to do is, we have to be very clear and take all the things, the input, what is our role, and act accordingly. Then rotating work shifts, all of us, we know about it. Role conflict, it's like role ambiguity, you have the role conflict. When we have 2 or 3 persons in the same position, and they start asking the same question and again. For example, there are 3 deans in one department. The department, one dean is coming and asking you one question. The same question is asked by the other person. The other person is coming and asking the same question to you again and again regarding the work. You are getting annoyed. So how to get rid of it? That we are going to see. Then occupational demands. Lack of participation in decision making. Certain places, they take their own decision. 15 of them will be sitting, but the discretion lies with the leader. So what happens, even when some people, they give their ideas, they should not think that their idea has to be carried out. It is we should know that it is the management's decision. So we have to be very clear on this. So I have given all this major causes of stress. So the major causes of stress, from workload to lack of participation in decision making. So what are the stress warning signs and symptoms? So we have to know, supposing if we are stressed, what are the warning signs and symptoms? It is 4. Cognitive symptoms, emotional symptoms, physical symptoms, and behavioral symptoms. So what is cognitive symptoms? We will have memory problems. The retention power of our memory comes down. Then we are not able to concentrate, inability to concentrate. So we are not able to concentrate on our work. Then poor judgment. At times we will be very poor in judging. First of all, we should not judge. That is a different scenario. But when we want to judge at places, we will not be in a position to judge because of this cognitive symptom. Seeing only the negative. So when I come to this point of negative, what is the real impact of the negative emotions on people? You just take a glass of water, and start saying all positive words before the tumbler. The tumbler full of water, start saying all the positive words. And in another tumbler, the person started saying all the negative words. So when they start seeing the patterns with the help of the microscope in that water, they came to know that the positive words spoken in that water, it's forming a very fantastic, fabulous patterns. It's very, very fantastic patterns is created. It is very lovely to watch and see the pattern which is formed on that tumbler. In the same, on contrary, when they saw under the microscope of the tumbler, which is having the water, which was expressed with all the negative words, the patterns are totally irregular. So our body is consisting 70% of water. So whatever we say, the positive words, it starts vibrating, and when we emanate positive thoughts, and the aura of our body gives the positive energy, and it carries on till the end with the positiveness. Next one is the anxious or racing thoughts. Constantly they will have the fickle mind. They will be into the haunts of the dilemma. What is going to be done next? What is next? What is next? What is next? So they will not be in that second. So people who are in that second will not have more stress. I'll say this. When you are, see, for example, you are attending this webinar. If you are in somewhere thinking about the past, what was happened before 3-4 days back, or a negative thing which has happened in your life, you are constantly holding on that in your mind, and without concentrating what is happening in the present, or else you may think about the future, what is happening in the future, what I'm going to do after 5 days or 15 days or 30 days, which you will not know. So the anxiety is there in your thoughts. Constantly we are thinking either about the past or about the future. So in the Gita, see, the anxious or the racing thoughts. We call it as the anxious or racing thoughts. So the person who is in that present, in that second, who is conscious, will have the bliss, will have the peace of mind. So we have to shun much of our anxiety and racing of thoughts. So that shows the stress warning signs in the cognitive symptoms. To live fully, it's grateful for the joys of yesterday, to look forward for the promise of tomorrow. Let us take today and make it all our own. Next one is the constant worrying. I have seen some of them, they will worry. They will think about the happening again and again and again, and they will be keeping that a friend, and they will start worrying again and again. Worrying is not going to help us. If we want to worry, we can sit and worry for hours together. But when we ask the question, what next? What we are going to do next if we want to live happily? The choice will be the second one. Move forward. We have to move forward. Next one is the emotional symptoms. Moodiness. Most of them will be in terms of moodiness. We call it as the malignant moods. How to overcome the malignant moods? We have to handle a separate class. Moodiness. They'll be in moods. For example, supposing somebody, they shout at them, they will that catch hold of that moment, and the moodiness goes for hours together without thinking that if you are going to hold that for hours together, it is not going to help us. The moodiness or the anxiety and other things is come to the person only when there is I consciousness. We call it as I consciousness. There are 24 cosmic principles in our body. Along with that I, the superior consciousness, that consciousness in our body makes that we are doing everything. The human thinks that we are doing everything, including the heartbeat, including the breathing. The person thinks that they are doing it without knowing that it is being done and we are only the instrument of it. Most of us, we are unaware about this, that the human being is only an instrument at the hands of the super consciousness. So what happens here, the moodiness continues for hours together, and it is not only affecting the individual. When you emanate the moodiness, what happens? The person around you, when they see you, you are not going to smile. You are moody. Automatically, their faces get shrunk. So we have to overcome this moodiness. The only thing is, when you are in that second and start viewing what is happening around us, taking a long breath and seeing what is happening around us, and moving further will allow to come out of stress. Irritability or short temper. This irritability, every time I have seen most of them, they are getting annoyed. They abhor people. They abhor people. They hate. Hate. A single short temper. What happens when you have the single short temper within you? You are getting agitated. When you are getting agitated, when the irritability comes inside you, you may not be in a position to proceed further. It comes because the thing which is not happening to us, we have certain expectation all the time. We have certain expectation all the time. We want the thing to happen immediately. So feeling overwhelmed, sense of loneliness and isolation. In Tamil, they say, orumai tanimai. Solitude is something different from loneliness. The person who is doing the penance in solitude, it's totally different. And loneliness is thinking that nobody is there for me. That is the loneliness. Depression or general unhappiness, it comes under the emotional symptoms. These are all the emotional symptoms. Next one is the physical symptoms. Aches and pains at places, diarrhea, constipation, nausea, dizziness. We have the chest pain, rapid heartbeat, frequent colds. Next one is the behavioral symptoms. So it is very easy for us to visualize somebody is having the stress when they start eating more. So they may have the threshold of eating certain things. For example, 3 or 4 idlis. When they start taking 6 or 7 idlis, we'll come to know that they are in stress. Or if they are eating very less, 1 or 2 idlis, we'll come to know that they have stress. Sleeping too much or too little. See, they want to save themselves. Cowards, they die many times before their death. The valiant never taste of death but once. As death is a necessary end, it will come when it will come. So most of us, we become cowards. For example, somebody is coming and asking money from us. We would have taken a loan. Okay, the person is knocking our door. They will show as if they are sleeping. But if they come out and they start talking to the person, this is the real problem that I face. Yes, I don't have this money with me right now. I'm not going to cheat you. I'm going to return back your money within a couple of days or months. People are not ready to say that. So they will go into the stress, isolating yourself from others. So when the people, they have stress, they start isolating themselves from others, procrastinating or neglecting responsibility. There is a lot of difference between postponement and procrastination. Postponement, in the sense, there may be some reason for the postponement. For example, if the webinar has to be conducted yesterday, due to some reason, managerial reason or official exigency, they may postpone it. Wantedly, somebody is saying that I'm not in a position to attend this call, procrastinating. Wantedly delaying the tactics. Next one, all of us, we know using alcohol, cigarettes, and drugs to relax. It's very dangerous as a behavioral symptoms in terms of stress. Then nervous habits like nail biting, pacing, etc. So all these comes under the category of the stress warning signs and symbols. So the importance of stress management. So if you are living with the high levels of stress, you are putting your entire well-being at risk. So what happens to the individual? In Tamil, there is a word, adage, Suvar Rundada Sitram. If there is a wall, we'll be in a position to paint, we can draw pictures and other things. If there is no wall in front of us, it is not possible for us to paint a picture. So if you are living with high levels of stress, you are putting your entire well-being at risk. It may seem like there is nothing you can do about stress because your mind is getting blocked. You're not able to think out of box and nobody is there to help you. And you may think that there is no other option except to take some other action which has not to be taken. Effective stress management helps you to break the whole stress has on your life so you can be happier, healthier, and more productive. So there is a necessity for us to go for the stress management. When we go for the stress management, when we hear lectures, when somebody is talking about how to come out of the stress, that is going to help you a lot. Stress brings havoc on your emotional equilibrium as well as your physical health. Then, for example, the bills won't stop coming. See, most of us, what we think that if you are coming out of the stress, if the bills won't stop coming, yes. If you have to pay the actual bill this month, 1,000 rupees or 1,200 rupees, you have to pay. There is no other go. There will never be more hours in the day. If you are expecting more hours in a day, it is not possible. There is a limitation always. There is a limitation for us. 24 hours is limited for us. We have to do all the tasks within the stipulated time frame. And the family's responsibilities will always be demanding. My son, my daughter, they'll be asking a lot of things to you. Obviously, we are in a position, whatever they ask, we have to fulfill if it is really required. What? So it is based on the priority that we have in our life. The priority is very, very important. How to prioritize things that is required. The ultimate goal is a balanced life with the time for work, relationship. We need certain relaxation as well as the fun and the resilience to hold up under pressure and meet challenges ahead. So all these things are required for us. It is not when you are get stuck, we need a change. When you get stuck at places, in Tamil we say muttal. Muttal means the person who gets stuck in one place. Muttikitte irukum per muttal. He will get stuck in one place. He is not in a position to come out of it. So he is getting blocked in that place. So it narrows your ability to think clearly, functional effectively, and enjoy life. So what happens? It narrows your ability. So you may have a lot of ability, but it narrows down. Function effectively and enjoy your life. But you have a lot more control than you might think. But stress management is not the size fits all. That's why it's important to experiment and find out what works best for you. The following stress management is going to help you a lot. We are going to discuss on that. All the stress management is not going to help all. If I'm going to say something to you, it may not be compatible to you, but it may be compatible to some other person. So we have to try number of times whether it helps us or not. So the tip number one is identify the source of stress. The tip number one is identify the source of stress in your life. First is the identification. So to identify your true source of stress, look closely of your habits, your attitude and excuses. So you have to watch yourself closely. You have to sit in solitude and you have to think about yourself, what you have done the whole day. And you have to identify your true source of your stress. You have to look very closely of your habits, whether your habits have changed or your attitude has changed or you start giving excuses. Do you explain away stress as temporary? Just you think whether it is going to be temporary. I just have a million things going on right now in your brain. Even though you can't remember the last time you look a breather. So what happens? You say, a lot of things are going on in my mind. What do you think about it? When you are not meticulously planning your way of life, you will have a lot of work to be done at the same time. When there is a proper planning, automatically we will do the work accordingly. Do you define stress as an integral part of your work or home life? Things are always crazy around here, or as a part of your personality, or I have a lot of nervous energy, that's all. So whether it is like that, or do you going to blame your stress on other people or outside events, or view it as an entirely normal and unexceptional? Most of us, we do that. We start blaming others for the action, what we do. We pinpoint someone and say that it is because of you. There is a thing in Tamil, we say, Teedum Nandrum Piradharavara. Nobody can give you good or bad in your life. Unless or otherwise, you take it. If you post a letter to a person, automatically it goes only when he accepts it. When the person accepts it, it is getting accepted. The post is delivered. If the person is not going to accept it, automatically it is going to return to the person who has sent it. Similarly, when somebody is going to say something to you, if you're not accepting it, automatically it goes to them. So until you accept responsibility for the role you play in creating or maintaining it, your stress level will remain outside your control. So we have to accept certain things which we can change. So identify the source of stress in your life. It starts in this. So shall we start a stress journal? A stress journal is nothing but it can help to identify the regular stress in your life and the way you deal with them. Each time you feel stress, keep a track. You start jotting down in a piece of, you take a notebook. If it's a piece of paper, we'll throw it away. It's better to take a notebook and start writing as a journal. So each time when you feel stressed, keep track in your journal or use a stress tracker on your phone. There is an app for your stress tracker. You can just jot down all the details. So keep a daily log which enable you to see the patterns and common themes and start writing it down. So you have to start writing it down. So what caused you stress? Make a guess if you are unsure. So what is the reason why I'm stressed today? Just go back, rewind yourself, rewind what has happened the entire day. So you will come across all the things that has happened in that day and what caused stress for that day. How you will tell both physically and emotionally how you are acted in responses, what you did to make yourself feel better. What you did to make yourself feel better. So after jotting down all these details, it will be helpful for us to understand why we are stressed and what are the reasons. Tip 2, practice the 4 A's of the stress management. While stress is automatic response of your nervous system, some stresses arise at predictable times. For example, when you commute to work, a meeting with your boss or a family gatherings, for example, see you are going to certain places within the time frame you have to reach that. For example, if you are held in traffic, you know about the stress. When handling such predictable stressors, you can either change the situation or change your reaction. So when we know that we have to reach to that place, so we have to plan accordingly. We can go ahead to that place. When deciding which option to choose in any given scenario, it is helpful to think of the 4 A's. The 4 A's are nothing but the avoid, alter, adapt, and accept. So we have to avoid the unnecessary stress in our life. Unnecessary stress. Learn how to say no. See, in certain places, you have to say no. If you're not in a position to do it, please say no. Know your limits. Some of us, what we do is, somebody gives the work again and again, and you think that you will be in a position to be, because you don't want to hurt the person, you will constantly start doing the work again and again. So know your limits and stick to them. Whether it is your personal or professional life, taking on more than you can handle is a surefire recipe for stress. So we have to distinguish between the should and the must, whether it should be done or it must be done. When possible, say no to taking on too much. So avoid people who stress you out. So some of them, they want to stress you. It is better to avoid them. Take control of your environment. If the evening news makes you anxious, I've seen some of them, they are so brittle. They are so weak. They can't see certain things which is happening around the world. So if you're anxious, turn off the TV. For example, if you are going in a traffic, if the traffic makes you more tensed, better take a longer route. Okay, better take a longer route, but less traveled route. If we are going to the market in an unpleasant core, we may opt for an online shopping. So go for an alternative method and avoid unnecessary stress in our life. So pare down your to-do list. What have to do today? What have to do tomorrow? Analyze your schedule, your responsibilities, and the daily tasks. If you have got too much of your plate, drop tasks that aren't truly necessary to the bottom of the list or eliminate them entirely. So we have to know how to prioritize our schedule. At times I've seen some of them, they ask me, they want to do something freely. When I'm doing business, they may ask me to do something freely. So I will say, you see, I'm preoccupied for another 10 days. Is it possible for you to wait for another 10 days? Softly you can neglect. See, the meaning is I'm not in a position to do it. I'm going to say that in a different way. Alter the situation. Next one is the alter the situation. If you can't avoid a stressful situation, try to alter it. It involves changing the way you communicate and operate in your day-to-day life. Express your feeling instead of bottling them up. Most of us, we are not expressing our feeling to others. So we have to express. For example, if your roommate is coming inside and started singing or dancing or doing some other fun inside your room, not allowing you to study, you have to be very clear with that person and say that I have this for me to study, and please, I request you to take some other place where the students are ready to enjoy. Be willing to compromise. At places, you should not be very stringent and we have to be showing all our strength. At times, when you ask someone to change their behavior, be willing to do the same. If you both are willing to bend at least a little, you will have a good chance of finding a happy middle ground. So we will compromise at places. You will compromise in one place, you will expect the other person to compromise. So when both are going to compromise, the thing is going to happen without any stress. Create a balanced schedule. That is very, very important. We are not planning our schedules. Most of us, we are not planning our schedules. Likely, we have to plan our schedule. All the work and no play is a recipe for burnout. Try to find a balance between work and the family life. Are we spending a real family life with our children? Judicial time has to be spent with them. Judicial time has to be spent with the place where we work. Give your heart and soul to work in the place. Don't waste your time. And similarly, you have to spend your time with your kids. So social activities, certain responsibilities that we are going to undertake, solitary pursuits, daily responsibility, and downtime all come under the category of creating a balanced schedule. Tip 2 is adapt to the stressor. If you can't change the stressor, change yourself. When you are not in a position to change others, it is better to change yourself. You can adapt to the stressful situation. You can regain your sense of control by changing your expectations and attitude. We may have certain expectations from others that they will be doing like this. When they are not doing, what is the real alternative? How I am going to adapt to that situation? At places when they are getting married, they may have some sort of expectation from the spouses. If it is not happening, what we are going to do? The next question, how we go about? Reframe your problems. Try to view stressful situation from a more positive perspective. Most of us, we are seeing in the pessimistic perspective or the negative perspective. Rather, we have to see in the positive perspective. How we are going to see positively. Rather than fumming about the traffic jam, look it as an opportunity to pass and regroup, listen to your radio station, enjoy some done time. So at times it happens. Some of the person, they may be coming along with you. You can talk to them. You can ask some questions. You can be amicable with them. So just think which is happening to you is for your good. Look at the big picture. Take perspective of the stressful situation. If there is a stress, look at the big picture. Ask yourself how important it will be in the long run. Whether this is going to get carried away with me for years together, or it is a short run, or it's a long run. What I have to do if it is going to be a short run, whether I can sustain for this period, or what is the alternative method that I have to follow in order to neglect this. Will it be a matter in a month, or it is going to happen in a year? It is really worth getting upset over. If the answer is no, focus your time and energy elsewhere. If it is not going to be worth the time, it is always better focus your energy elsewhere where it is going to be worthy enough. So adjust your standards. Perfectionism. I've seen so many of them when they want to be so perfect in each and everything. It takes a lot of time. They are getting annoyed. They start shouting at the people. So please understand that you cannot be perfect in all the places. So stop setting yourself up as for failure by demanding perfection. Set reasonable standards. That should be always a reasonable standard. For example, if they say that 90% is the pass mark for passing the BE degree examination or MBA degree examination, what happens? They have their standards, 50% for PG studies, 40% for the, so they are setting the standard. It is not possible for all the learners to take 90% or 80%. So we cannot expect the perfection. Set reasonable standards for yourself and others and learn to be okay with good enough. At times we have to be say, okay, it is good enough. practice gratitude. Most of us, we don't have the gratitude. Something happening good to you, be gratitude with the God, the Almighty who has given all this. Say thanks. And if you're in a stressful situation, God, this is your idea. What is happening to me, it is your idea. You have something for it. I know you have something better for me in my life. So I'm just waiting for it to be done. So when stress is getting you down, take a moment to reflect on all the things you appreciate in your life. You have to see what has happened to you, and you have to start appreciating it all the time, including your own positive qualities and gifts. Just tell yourself, easy, I have the capacity, I have the capability of doing all this. I can do it. This simple strategy will help. It can help you keeping things in the perspective, the right things in the perspective. Accept the things you can't change. So don't try to control the uncontrollable things. Already I told you, which you cannot change, you cannot control it. Look for the upside when you're facing major challenges. Try to look at them as opportunities, and not as a challenges. Instead, you take it as an opportunity for your personal growth. If your own poor choices contributing to a stressful situation, then reflect them and learn them from the mistakes already you have committed. So the next one is how to forgive others. We don't do that in our life. We are very stringent. We are very strict in our actions. No, we have to forgive others. Accept the fact that we live in an imperfect world and the people makes a lot of mistakes. We commit mistakes. Most of them, they do the mistakes. So we have to forgive them. When they say, I'm sorry, yes, I accept your sorry, I forgive you. Then we have to proceed further so you will not be stressed. Let go of anger and the resentments. Free yourself from the negative energy by forgiving and moving on. The incident which has happened in the court, a person has done the gravest mistake of all the crimes, has killed more than 30 people. And during the trial period, all the parents of that child, they are coming before and they are just pinpointing the person, and they start saying all the negative things about that person. And what happened? The accused one, he is not opening the mouth, he is not ready to, he is not crying, or he is not showing any of his emotions. One parent who came before the trial, he said, I am forgiving this person, whatever he has done to my son, I am forgiving this person. When he said that word, the accused automatically started crying. So forgiveness is more powerful. Then start sharing your feeling, expressing what you are going through can be very athletic. Even if nothing, you can do it. Alter the stressful situation. You have to alter the stressful situation. How to alter the stressful situation? Now we have gone through how to alter the stressful situation. Talk to a trusted friend and make an appointment with a therapist. If you want to go for a therapy, you can go for a therapist, or else you can share all your views to your trusted friend. You may have your chum, the comrade whom you can share a lot of things to them, and they console you for the moment, and you can come out of your feelings and emotions. Get moving. So this is the rightest step that I can say is we have to get moving. The first step is to get moving yourself up moving. Here are some easy ways we are going to incorporate this. Put on some music and dance around. So if you are stressful, start the music, start dancing. So take your dog for a walk. You have to take your dog for a walk. If you have a pet at home, you can take it for a walk. Either you can walk, you go out of the house, you go out, you start walking, or you can do the cycling, or go to a grocery store, or go to a cinema or a theater or a place of entertainment, and spend yourself for 2 or 3 hours. Use the stairs at home or work rather than elevator. You can use the stairs. You can walk some few steps more. Park your car in the farthest spot in the lot and walk the rest of the way. So you can farthest spot, you can park your car and you can start walking. Pair up with an exercise partner and encourage each other as you work. You can do a lot of exercises with your partner by pairing up. Play ping pong for an activity-based video game with your friends. If you have some video games to that point of time, it should not be a regular habit. We can play with the video games. Connect to others. The fourth tip is connecting to others. How we are going to get connected to others. There are nothing more calming than spending quality time with the other human beings who makes you feel so safe and understood. See, we have certain people to whom we can talk to us together. It is so pleasure talking to them. So the face-to-face interaction is going to trigger a cascade of hormones that counteracts the body defensive to fight against the stress. Its nature of stress, it is going to be a reliever, a redeemer. It is also going to help from the slave of depression as well as the anxiety. So make it a point to connect regularly and in person with family as well as with the friends. Keep in mind that people you talk is don't have to able to fix your stress. See, not at all. If you are going to explicate all the things to them, it is not a point that they are going to redress all the grievances that you have. Rather, they are going to console you. They are going to talk something good to you. Later, you have to face yourself again. But now you will have the calm and the peace of mind to look into it, what action that you are going to take. Of course, it is not always realistic to have a pal close to lean on when you feel overwhelmed by stress. But by building and maintaining a network of close friends, you can improve your resilience to life stresses. So your friends, your chum, who is going to help you a lot in bringing down your stress, you can share your views and say what has happened. They may or may not, but you will get peace of mind at that point of time and you will come out of it. Fifth tip is building relationship. It is similar to the previous slides, but the same thing again and again. It is not a redundant one, but that is something which is different, like having a lunch or coffee, helping someone else by volunteering, reaching out the colleague at work, or ask a loved ones to check with you regularly. All these things is going to be a tip in addition to the previous one. So making time for fun and relaxation. Set aside a leisure time which is highly indispensable in our day-to-day life. For heaven's sake, please understand that you need a leisure time for you. You need your own time. You need half an hour time for you to sit in silence and think about yourself. You need time to spend with your friends. Do something you enjoy every day. Most of us, we don't do that. For example, if you enjoy reading, somebody loves reading, take a good book, a positive book, start reading it. Keep your sense of humor. We lack it. Most of us, we lack the sense of humor. So somebody who is so humorous, when they talk, you be with them, you will start laughing. Or be with the kids, automatically you will enjoy your time. Take up a relaxation practice. It should be a practice. We have to have the certain relaxation technique they teach is nothing but the yoga. We have to sit in meditation and we have to take a deep breath, which we call it as the pranayama. Pranayama is nothing but the control of breath. The saints, they have found out that if you control your breath, the breath is nothing but which is touching the mind and automatically you're getting all the sceneries and other things. So when you control the breath, you will not think anything, you try it. Either you take the full breath inside you or keeping it out. Breathlessness at point of time, when you control your breath, your mind is also getting control. So in that case, you will come out of your stress. Manage your time better. So this we are not doing it properly. We think that we have a lot of time. We think that we have a lot of time, we have a lot of energy and we can do it. But we postpone or procrastinate things based on the time factors. So poor time management is going to lead to stress. We have to be very careful on that. Don't overcommit yourself. Somebody says that you can do this within this time. Do not commit yourself. Know your threshold. A threshold is nothing but how much you can bear yourself. So avoid scheduling things back to back or trying to fit too much into the day. So be very clear in that. Prioritize your task. Which one is very, very important? We call it as a priority. So prioritize your task. Make a list of tasks. First one is you jot down the list of tasks, and this is number one, this is number two, number three. What is the time factor? What is the time that I have to do within this time? If you are not in a position to do the task which has to be done at last 8th or 9th or the 10th one, talk to the concerned person, express your feelings. Honestly, you say, it will take another 1 day or 2 days for me to complete this task. And if they are going to give the pressure, talk to the other person and prioritize accordingly. So what I'm saying here is break project into small steps. It has to be in terms of fragments. Don't take a heap at a time. So if there is a large project that seems overwhelming, again, more and more, make it into small fragments. So when we see a big picture, what happens is we think that it takes a lot of time. Rather, when you put it into fragments, make step-by-step plan. That we call it as the step-by-step plan. So focus on one manageable step at a time. You have to take one step which is manageable, complete the task. Take the another step which is manageable, complete the task, rather than taking on everything at once. What we think is even the children, when they read a poem or anything, paragraph by paragraph, if they read something by paragraph, the retention is going to be more. If they read the entire thing, if they traverse the entire thing, starting reading and again the entire thing, the retention takes a lot of time. So it is breaking project into small steps. Delegate the responsibility. Most of us, we don't do that. What we think is we want to do everything by ourselves. That is the real scenario behind. So what we want to prioritize ourselves, and we show, and we have to show our higher ups that everything is done by myself, me. Delegate the responsibility. Supposing if you want to give that responsibility to some person who is ready to do it, you delegate the responsibility. In office as well as at home or in school or in your job, people can take care of the task. You think that you can that the task can be taken care by only by you. So you have to delegate the task. Why not let them? You may have this question. Let them also do this. Let go of the desire to control or oversee every little steps. You will be letting go of unnecessary stress in the process. So the unnecessary stress is away from you. You are going to shun much of your anger and other things because of this when you start delegating the responsibility to the right person. So the eighth one is maintain balance with a healthy lifestyle. This is very, very important. Work and life, we need a balance. So we have to eat a healthy diet. Meet your dietitian or your grandfather or your mother. They will give better advice of how to eat a healthy diet. Well nourished body or better prepared to cope up with the stress. You have to have the very good. I've seen some of them, they don't have the breakfast. It's very dangerous. So breakfast is important, lunch as well as the dinner. How we are going to take the nutritious food also plays an indispensable role in our stress. So reduce caffeine and sugar. Most of us, we have the habit of drinking coffee 10 times a day. It is very dangerous. So the temporary highs caffeine and sugar provides often end with the crash in mood and energy. So we have to be very careful in that. By reducing the amount of coffee as well as the soft drinks or the chocolate and the sugar snacks in your diet, you will feel more relaxed and you will sleep better. So avoid unnecessary things after 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock at night. So don't eat anything after 8 o'clock. And all of us, we know about this, avoid alcohol, cigarette and drugs. I'm not going to deep into that. It's my request that some of your friends, if they are following this, they have to avoid the alcohol, cigarette and cigarette first. Then you have to get enough sleep. For the elders, minimum 7 hours of sound sleep is required. Minimum 6 to 7 hours of sound sleep for the elders, it's required. Elders in the sense in the mid ages, if below 10 years or 15 years old, they need at least 8 to 9 hours. And after 60, they need again 8 to 9 hours. So we need enough sleep. Adequate sleep fuels your mind as well as your body. Feeling tired will increase your stress because it may cause you to think irritation. So learn to relieve in the stress moment, always. So all these things come together. The coping up, the final techniques is nothing but number one is distraction. So divert attention away from the problem. We discussed already. Catharsis, expression, emotion to reduce tension and feeling. Situation, redefinition. Tries to see the problem in a different way. So from the different perspective, you have to see the problem and you have to get rid of the problem. Next one is the direction, thinking about the solution and gather information. When there is a problem, there is a solution. There is always a solution. We have to go for the solution and not to the problem. Next one is the acceptance. If you are wrong, accept it. If nothing can be done, learn to accept. Social support, get the help whenever required. So, socially, religious source. At places we need that. We need religious resource. Each one of us, we have our own religious resource to come out of your problem. If a problem is beyond the human capacity, we have to pray to God. Proactive coping is nothing but efforts undertaken in advance. So precautionary measures which we are going to take before will also help us to get rid of stress. Then I have the last slide is something thoughts to ponder. Learning to disconnect oneself mentally from the disturbance of sensation brings peace of mind. So we have to learn to disconnect oneself mentally from the disturbance. If you can do that, you will get the peace of mind. Then the person who remains untouched by the sensations that come and go, there are a lot of sensations that come and go. The person who remains untouched by the sensations that come and go, being neutral to the ever-challenged stimuli, manifest the soul essential changelessness. In that unchanging consciousness, the person becomes one with the changes of the infinite. And the last one is with unwavering discrimination, neither jubilant at the pleasant experiences, nor downcast by the unpleasant experiences, a person becomes established in wisdom without stress. So there should not be any discrimination, neither jubilant at the pleasant, nor downcast by the unpleasant. You have to be very poised. If you are in a position to be in the poised state, then you are going to establish the wisdom and there will be no stress. With that, I would like to conclude this. Any questions from the participants? Ma'am? Any questions, please?
Any questions, participants?
Hello. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Sir, I am Dr. Nayak from Pondicherry speaking.
Yes, sir.
Sir, yeah, regarding stress, I really enjoyed your topic. But the thing is, sometimes stress is, so for example, something happen in your
Yes.
family or something
Okay.
happen in the department. All of
Okay.
a sudden, they want to tell one person to take the responsibility. For example, I can tell you, people aged above 50, they don't want to touch technology. They don't want to develop. But those who junior people, they want to
Correct.
put all the matter to the junior people since they know. So knowing something is a stress, because some people tell, okay, we do not know the Zoom, how to do, get Zoom, or they want to put some person, junior person. My point is, they
Yes.
always want to give people, some person, those who are very much expert, but they ignore other person. Suppose we
Exactly.
speak that one, they feel it is a conflict. How to manage that one? So
Yes.
means I know something means it is it should be blessing. Instead of blessing, it should be sometimes it is a curse.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
how to manage that? That is a very critical thing. See, I came to my mind. Other
Yes,
things are okay,
exactly, sir. This is happening in all the places. In the workplace, we are seeing this disturbance in all the places. People, that is the reason, sir, in 1995, in the bank employees, they have been sent back. See, voluntary retirement was given to them. The reason behind this, they're not able to cope up with the latest technology and trends. They are not able to adapt to the gadgets, the new gadgets, which they have to get use of.
Yes, sir.
So they are not doing it. So in that case, the management, it is not you. You have to represent the management. You have to go and represent the management. You have to meet, for example, For example, if you're higher up, the person who is going to be a real impediment for you in your growth, he is not the person who recruited you. I'm sorry, sir. The management is having the higher responsibility. See, we put our head down for the real leader who is in front of us. If the leader is not a real leader, we have to go ahead to the management and explain to them, this is the problem that you are facing. If the management still, they want you to, if they intervene, and if they are going to have a healthy discussion on this, and they have to conduct similar program for them to understand how to adopt or to learn the new techniques. If they are not desirous of that, either the management has to take the decision to remove them from the institution, or if the management want them to continue again without making them learn, it is better for you to find a new path of your life, sir. It is, sir, the problem is there everywhere. Okay, you're going to try and express. If it is beyond your control, you have to say no. Sorry, sir, this is the time limitation. You are just concentrating on one person and you are giving me the work again and again, which is not acceptable. I'm ready to meet the principal. I'm ready to meet the chairperson. Any point of time, I'm ready to meet them, because you are not giving the work equally to all. You are asking me to do again and again. Have I done anything wrong to you, sir?
Correct, sir.
Yes, sir.
Actually, there should be some sense of giving the responsibility. Some people enjoy doing nothing, but some people do so many things.
So that is what in the initial stage I told you. The person who is desirous of doing it, somebody is not having the capacity. What they have to do is, the leader has to tell the person that either you learn or you go out.
Correct, sir. Some people are not interested to learn. Certain age, I don't want to speak that age. After certain age, they don't want to learn. They want to make a lobby, and they want to pressurize others.
Exactly, sir. Exactly.
Conflict comes.
Exactly. I understand your emotion, as well as your yes.
No.
In that case, this is the only way, sir. Only way is you're higher up. If you can't able to face the higher up, you go to the ultimate person and express your feelings, even if it is not heard, even if it is not settled. The better thing is you are not the right person to fit in that place. You have to find an alternative.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And I think Surat Naik sir has voiced out many people stress. So we could see the modulation of his voice.
Yes, exactly, ma'am.
Yes,
see,
sir.
I've been the shoes of sir, and I've faced for more than 15 years.
Yes, sir.
I know the real situation when somebody is so knowledgeable and the person is having all the capacity to do things. The work is automatically targeted to that person.
Yes, it's always said, good work is rewarded by more works. That's what all the higher officials say. We are rewarding you by giving you additional work. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the wonderful opportunity given to me to talk on this topic. Thank you very much. I thank my fellow colleague, SF Faith Martin of Majestic Technology Solutions Private Limited, the CEO and Director. I thank all the staff members of the management of Tagore Engineering College, principal, as well as our president, and all the faculty members from the other colleges and universities. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So as I gave an introduction about you, you did touch on all the human values, and you said like how to be a down-to-earth person, and how easily we can pass on with the challenges we have in life. So you have touched upon all the things, and from the morning also we had a stress coping techniques, and so all the people are here who are here or discussing more on health. So have a time for self. Even yesterday's session was about it. So
Yes.
Let us all make it practice, because there should be some takeaways from this forum. That's what we are all working for. So
Sure.
I request all the participants to take this important message from all the participants. So let us have some time for ourselves. Let's have the me time for ourselves. and let us like give more importance to the fitness and more of for a family time. So that is why we didn't had a session on Saturday, Sunday, sir. So we
Very
said
nice, ma'am.
Saturday,
Very
Sunday
nice.
we will not have session because even we have college at times, but we don't
Yes.
want to have the session on Saturday evening. So let us all have this work-life balance, and as we are hearing it from many experts, let us all try to practice. And I thank all the participants who have made effort to be a part of this STTP, because I know it is not an easy job. And many forums, what happens is after filling up the feedback form, people will start leaving, sir. But
Yes,
in
ma'am. I
our
understand.
session, like we have 35 to 40 people coming up, but whoever comes, they always stay and they are very interactive. So which
Thank you.
motivates us.
Yes,
So
yes.
thank you all. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
participants, and thank you, Mahesh sir. Thank you,
Thank you.
Esther ma'am. So thank you all. We would like to meet you in some other forum, sir.
Sure,
Thank you.
ma'am. Sure, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. So, dear participants, we'll wind up for the day and we will meet on Monday. And the link will be shared to you. We'll meet by 11 o'clock. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.